Hello and welcome back to the second episode of the 13th Reel podcast. My name's Ash and we have Crippy and Liam. How are you doing, guys?
All good. Good, cheers, Ash. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So last week we were talking, we used a randomizer, didn't we? Picked out a film to watch and discuss this week. Randomizer threw up Locke, that Tom Hardy in a car film. Crippy and me had seen this before. I'd seen it once. I don't know. How many times did you watch it, Crippy?
A couple of times, yeah. I've seen it before a couple of times.
Watched
it again, obviously, for this.
Liam, you've never seen it, had you?
Yeah, I wish I still hadn't seen it.
Yeah, Jesus. You never will again.
So that's the one. Well, let's.
it says Liam no turning back. Okay, now that is correct.
So come on, Liam. Why didn't you like it? What was your problem with it? Because me and Crippy both loved it.
I know it was based in a car, but nothing happened.
Nothing.
I understand it was. Nothing happened. I don't understand. Like, obviously, he's cheated on his
life
wife
fell apart.
with
Yeah.
someone. Yeah, exactly. His life fell apart, but it's his own doing. The only thing that I would have liked at the end is sounds quite dark, but because obviously she was going for a cesarean, weren't she?
Yeah.
She like died, and then the kid died, and obviously do you know what I mean?
And then he drove off
and dark.
A bridge.
He just told his wife what's happened. He's told his kid. Well, obviously his kid's going to find out. He ruined his life, and then all for nothing. That would have made it better for me.
Okay.
At least, throw it in some darkness, but it was just terrible.
I felt the heaviness with me personally. I don't know if we're going to try and make it like a spoiler-free beginning.
No, it's been out long enough now. Jesus.
Yeah, true.
Don't watch it now. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I just felt the weight of it for me. Because, like I say, it's like his life fell apart in an hour and 20 minutes, but it wasn't just that he made a decision that he could have avoided. It was the fact that he felt the guilt because of his own father. That's what hit for me, because he made this choice because he didn't want to follow the same footsteps as his father had done, as this character is clearly a guy who's led a straight and narrow life up until that point. So he made that one mistake. So I understood why he was so determined to not be his dad and not abandon his kids. But what he's ended up doing is emulating his father, because he has sort of abandoned his kids now by proxy, not that he wanted to, but because he won't get the access he wants to them, because obviously his wife has said to him that he's not going to be allowed. So yeah, the weight of his decision that really did hit me a lot. So that's why I enjoyed it. I felt for him.
Yeah. Like we were talking yesterday, Crippy, I'd said that I'd watched it a couple of years back, and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't a film that I'd ever thought I'd watch again.
Right.
But then watching it again, I watched it on Monday, and I'd quite happily sit down and watch it.
Yeah, same.
A few more times, no problem. So you get more from it.
Must be for the older generation, then maybe.
Oh, mate, that's harsh on Crippy. That.
I know. 32.
And I thought Tom Hardy's performance is phenomenal, but his Welsh accent was horseradish.
Awful. One of the worst. I've forgotten how bad his accent was.
I was so confused.
Yeah.
He thought he was from Pakistan or something.
Like, what?
Yeah, it sounded foreign, didn't it, to begin with? And then he was saying his name's Ivan. I was like, where's this guy meant to be from? I was like, oh, God, this must be a Welsh accent.
Supposed to be Welsh. The thing is, Tom Hardy's usually really good with accents.
Yeah.
He can do regional ones from all over America, and he's tried a few different like British regional ones, but that Welsh one. I mean, if I was the director, I'd have just said, right, we'll not make him Welsh.
Scrap that. It's bizarre because he doesn't need to be that. You can be subtle with the Welsh accent. You could say, oh, he's lived outside of Wales for too many years. You could make that argument or something like that. I don't know, but it was weird to think that. Yeah, that was the voice he went with, and they're like, "Yep, we'll keep going with that." No one said, "Tom, do you want to turn it down a bit, mate?"
It's nearly as bad as that. Have you seen the online episode of Castle, that Nathan Fillion series in America?
No,
they had a Geordie on it, and it's the worst accent ever committed to film. I'll leave a link in the description below, and I'll send it to you in the message after. It's painful.
Is it as bad as Don Cheadle doing an English accent in Oceans?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, yeah. You could believe that Don Cheadle's maybe been to England once. This alleged Geordie is half Irish, quarter Scottish. It's nowhere near Newcastle. Like, Scotland is as close as that accent gets to Newcastle. And like, you can tell that the writers have just gone, right, here's a load of Geordie dialect, like a load of words. Let's cram as many of them as we can into one sentence, because that's how
without
people
context.
talk, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Jesus, gives us a nosebleed just thinking about it. Anyway, we weren't talking about that. We were talking about Locke. So, Liam, you can appreciate the performance, yes?
I mean,
accent
it's his job. It's his job. I don't know. Nothing was. It was his job. His job is to act. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's not like that's what he got paid to do. He was paid to do the role of he's in a car, he's cheated on his wife with someone, now they're having a kid. Well, no, it's not for me.
Did you sort of feel the anxiety of it though? Because obviously, when he's obviously done something bad, and he's got to call his wife and tell her, that's quite a massive thing, isn't it? You know, he's basically got to ruin her life.
Yeah, but at the same time, by his own doing, I just thought it was a cop out that he's had to do over the phone. Granted, she's 2 months early, but still, like, he has had that conversation sooner or later.
He's had 6 months
through his own fault. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, through his own fault, he's now having to do it over the phone. So yeah, I can see the anxiety of that, but still, his job.
It's like it's interesting because I think he does come across as sympathetic, and yeah, it is his own fault. I think it's the fact that there's no sort of right answer in what he's meant to do. Is that if he stays with his family and ignores this woman, then he's a deadbeat because he's ignored the woman. If he goes with her, he then has to tell his family what's happened, so then they're going to hate him. And obviously, he's got the job as well that he's very good at. They make it very clear how good he is at his job, but he's had to make a choice because he's having the baby that night. So he then has to abandon his work and then lose his job over it. So
that's the other thing. So he doesn't have to have this conversation that night. He could just drive up, or say everything's done, and then be like, right, now I need to have that conversation. Do you know what I mean? Like, he didn't have to have it in the car.
I just think it's because they planned to watch the game, didn't they? So he had to have an excuse why he wasn't coming back.
So he can make an excuse up. I'm sure he's lied before, hasn't he? I mean, he's lied to his wife for 6 months, but
yeah, and I suppose looking at it from a nitpicky point of view, he did have Andrew Scott on site all night. He could have been there. That could have been his excuse. I have to be on site all night to make sure that everything's ready for this pour. But
yeah,
or you just say something's gone wrong, which
you can do that with any film, can't you? You can look at the plot and go, well, if he doesn't do that, then this whole thing doesn't happen.
But I think he deliberately wanted to have the talk. I think it was he considers himself an honourable man in some ways, doesn't he? So I think he knew the ramifications of having the call when he did. So I don't think it was a case of, oh no, this is out of my hands. I think he knew he just had to do it because he didn't like. Obviously, he has already cheated and created a baby out of it, but I think he just wanted to have it out in the open as he was going to travel to hers. So it is a bit of I wouldn't say like a plot hole, but it's probably something that the director could have tidied up a bit. But I do feel that he's made that clear decision just to have the phone call. Yeah, he should have done it face to face well before then.
Yeah,
that's cowardly on his part.
That wasn't Tom Hardy. Don't think anyone ever watches that film.
No, you're right. Tom Hardy was specifically cast because Steve McKnight wanted somebody who could hold the audience's attention for 80 minutes, sat in a car.
It's like with Bronson, it was his performance that it was all about him. But I do think that Tom Hardy, he was great in it in the regard that a lot of his movies he doesn't get to show that those kind of range of emotions, where he's angry sometimes, frustrated, but subtly, because he's sort of fighting his own emotions, and I think that takes some doing. So I really enjoyed that because it's a lot of actors, they get into doing blockbusters and they don't really get to show any range anymore. They just become blank slate characters.
Pigeonholed.
Absolutely, yeah. But this guy had a real character where we knew that he was a devoted dad, husband, worker. But he'd made this mistake that's caught up with him, and now he's having to battle with himself that he is kind of an asshole, and he doesn't like that. Clearly, doesn't like that. But he's also calm. So when, rather than being overly defensive and shouting and whatever, he's actually very calm for the most part. But because he's trying to hold it together, and then eventually you just see him, the life sort of gets sucked out of his face because he's like, I just cannot control all these variables. I've got the sons on the phone. I just can't. I need to tell them, but I can't. They know something's up because his wife is upstairs crying or whatever. Tom Holland, yeah, mad, isn't it?
Tom Holland.
But yeah,
I was wondering if anyone had noticed.
I did. I looked at the cast. I couldn't believe some of the people now that are
Olivia Colman.
household names. Olivia Colman, she's good. Yeah. I recognise the voice of Olivia Colman there, so I knew it was her when I watched it the first time. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I just felt that I like character-based movies. Where the performance is more important than everything, and I felt that
the entire film hinges on the performance. Like,
absolutely,
the film doesn't work.
Yeah, and it worked for me. Didn't work for me.
I do like as well. No, it didn't work for me. I always go on IMDb, read the trivia and stuff like that. And the one thing I did like was often when he's talking, you'll get that message like his car's like, you've got a call waiting.
Oh, it's so anxiety-inducing, isn't it?
Yeah, but that was actually put in over the top because it was the car binging that fuel was low. So when you see Tom Hardy reacting, that's him getting pissed off at that bing, cutting him off in the middle of his monologue, and they've kept
that's clever. That's a good way of using
it to call waiting.
But they could have put a little bit of it, the fuel flowing then. Could have made a little bit of scene of that.
Could have added a little bit to it, yeah.
It's only a short drive, wasn't it? It was an hour and a bit, so if you've got 10 quid's worth in there, you should last. Last on the moment.
Little details like that I like, and the fact that he just kept going, but like you could see he was visibly pissed off, and it just worked for the character.
Oh, absolutely did. And because the life drained away as the film got on, and he sort of had an air of acceptance. Because I think he's not used to things being out of his control. Clearly, when things go wrong on his job, he was the guy to sort it. But
so calm and ready.
He's calm and collected, which is why he's in the position he was. But he couldn't do that because he can't control how his wife's going to react to the news. So he's there trying to say, "Oh, I don't want to close the door on us. I want to know that I can come back." But you can't control that. You can't control how she's going to react to it. And she'd made up her mind that she didn't want anything to do with him after that. So that was interesting because he really isn't used to not knowing what's going to happen next. But yet he's made his choice. And he didn't want to be with a woman. He's made a choice to be there for the birth. But now he's in a situation where that is probably the only thing he has left because he's not welcome at home. So it felt like he was like a deer in the headlights kind of after a while, wasn't it? Because he just did not know what to do when things go wrong because he can't control those variables.
We had a little chat about it yesterday, obviously, and I said that I couldn't remember how it ended before I watched it again.
Yeah.
And that's because it sort of doesn't.
Yeah.
It ends, obviously. I mean, it's not still going. It's not like a 23-year-old film that just continuously runs. But there's no ending to it. It just stops.
Yeah.
And I do like that now. I don't think I obviously didn't like it initially because I didn't think I would watch it again and I couldn't remember the ending. But now the fact that you just see him drive off at the end and it's like,
I love it.
Is he gonna repair his relationship? Did he have a boy or a girl?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to know.
I love it more for that because so many movies would probably have it where it would be resolved by the end of the phone call, and then it'd be like an upbeat ending. But it's so ambiguous, isn't it? Because like I said, the woman that he's having a baby with.
Go on.
The woman he's having a baby with, she's like in love with him. She wants to have a relationship, but he doesn't want that. So you think, well, you just ruined your marriage and all this stuff for the woman that
you don't even care about, really.
Exactly, yeah.
You feel sorry for her, but that's like sort of where the relationship ended, wasn't it? It was like, she's lonely and older than him, allegedly. But and he's made this one mistake that's totally unraveled his life.
Yeah.
That's relatable to me. Like that's like
big time.
You think you can look back on shit that you've done and just think, gosh, should have done that differently.
Yeah.
What have I lost because of this? And
Yeah.
I don't know. It just hit home. It resonates.
There
Obviously,
was
Liam's led a perfect existence, and
there was,
can't relate at all.
There's an amazing line in it where he says, I'm going to butcher it because I've forgotten exactly, but he says, when I got in the car, I had a wife, I had kids, I had a job. And now it's all gone. And that was the heart of it for me. Like I said, an hour and 20 minutes, his life just turned to shit. And we're watching it turn to shit. And you don't normally see, you just see his reaction to it. You don't see other people's facial emotions. You hear the pain in their voices. And you just see in him what he's done. That's why it was just great, really great.
Yeah. Also, the people on the end of the phone had to nail it as well.
Oh, their performances were good.
They had to be
really
believable. Good. And to do that with just your voice, that must be difficult.
Very, because sometimes it causes you're asked to be subtle on the phone and not be too emotional, because that's not how people act. But then when emotions are raised, because you see Ivan getting really pissed off, they match his energy levels because they're getting pissed off, because Ivan isn't a guy who flies off the rails. So when he's screaming and shouting, they're stunned by it. Yeah, he's unflappable normally. So, and then it's the realization as well from them that Ivan's kind of lost the plot a bit, because he'd forgotten to leave that binder at work because his head's not on it, and that's not the kind of guy he is. So you see those people are losing that sense of the aura that Ivan had. They're realizing that he is just a guy, and a guy that makes mistakes, they're big fucking mistakes. So there's a lot of it is Ivan's own ego taking a hit, him paying for his mistakes, and then everyone around him, how many lives he affects.
Losing faith in him completely.
Yeah, because he's not the only person that's going to lose his job over him not being at the poor, is it? There's other people there that inevitably are going to fuck up because they're not as good at their job.
That guy who fired him is probably going to be under pressure from the Chicago.
Absolutely.
His job's on the line. The guy that's fucking drinking on the job.
Yeah.
Could potentially lose his job if one mistake's made.
They all rely on Ivan to make sure to put out those little fires, and now he's not going to be there. It's all going to open up. Obviously, we don't know what happens, but you can imagine, can't you, that it all unravels. There's no way that the poor went well. So yeah.
Have you ever had a job that you loved as much as he absolutely friggin' loves concrete?
Yeah, he does. He knows everything there is to know about it.
That? I don't think I've ever been obsessed with a job as much as he has.
No.
Madness. Anyway, we'll move on because Liam's fallen asleep again. He's like, I just watched it last night. Now I have to listen about
it. I will add though, the only good, the best thing about it was, like you said, the characters that were on the phone, they've had to nail it for the emotions.
Yeah,
I'd
say was the good bit about it.
They were apparently told as well, because I think the way they shot it was obviously Tom Hardy driving up the N6 or whatever it was, 6 nights in a row, and everyone else was in the hotel room with the director, and they rang up, and he'd tell them to play it different every time.
Yeah.
Just to keep Tom Hardy on his toes and give him something to work with. So I think that's pretty clever.
Yeah.
Because obviously the director can't be there with him, so...
It's just we've all been there, haven't we? When we've had to make a phone call about something, but our mind's on something else. And you can see that he's trying to be present when he's talking to somebody, but he's thinking about something else, and he's basically on autopilot where he's not taking in anything they're saying, but he's then trying to put on a brave face and whatever. And the sort of the desperation in the voices of his kids to work out what's going on. And then he's talking to his wife, and his wife just, she plays it great because you really feel the life sucked out of her too, and her response seems so realistic, where she's initially like, "You have me on," and then she's like, "I feel sick," and it's just that you can imagine your heart would be beating out of your chest if you got that phone call from a guy you thought was your rock for so many years.
She even says the stupid shit that you say in arguments. It doesn't actually make sense, but it's just because you're so angry that words come out that don't. Yeah. You don't believe them as you say them, but they come out, and I like that. That's damn good writing. And
you you ask questions about the cheating and stuff where you don't really want to know.
You don't want to know.
You just don't know how to respond, do you, to that event?
So you're not going to give it another chance, then, Liam? We haven't convinced you.
I'll lock it away and never see it again.
And we're done. Fucking hell, Jesus.
I might watch it again.
with that pun, I think we've.
Like I said, if
finished.
I put it on, it's when I'm like struggling to sleep. So
there you go.
Silver lining.
It is a movie where you can still appreciate it, I think, without seeing it. Obviously, his performance is great visually, but I think when you hear his performances, also, it'd be interesting to listen to. I'd say. I think it still holds some. Might be interesting.
Yeah. Right. I'll tell you what. Before we move on, we'll pick our next victim, and then we'll get talking about other stuff, the Oscars and things like that. So I shall just do my screen share thingy bob and hit that. I've done it again, trying to click on the wrong screen. Pick the random.
What will it be?
Oh.
Will it be another one of my picks or something?
The tension. Nightcrawler.
Unbelievable.
Just a minute ago. So
unbelievable.
One you just added last night.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
So there we go. Another one that Liam hasn't seen. And after our last recommendation, he probably doesn't trust us at all.
But you definitely won't be bored. Whether you like it or hate it, you will not be bored. There's so much to talk about in that movie.
Yeah, I've only seen it again. Seen it the once.
Just triggered me because when it finished, it said blood and bone, and I was like,
that was yours.
You thought it was it, yeah.
Yeah. So
I've seen this movie about 5 times. So yeah,
really?
I'm a big fan. Big fan.
You could say it reeled me in.
He's at it again with the puns.
You're not getting invited back next week. Liam. No, not Liam. It wasn't you. It was Crippy. You went to see Babylon last night.
I did see Babylon, yeah.
And
thing is, I know it's going to be a critical darling because it talks about Hollywood in the 30s.
Right.
So there's going to be so many in jokes that I've missed that movie critics are going to be like, "Oh, look at that," all that kind of thing. I get that, fine. It is entertaining. It is emotional. It is funny. It is shocking. Cast. The cast is stacked. The acting is great. But my issue was the focus on certain characters because it's disproportionate. Again, it doesn't have to be proportionate giving people screen time, but it's a 3-hour movie, and it felt to me that some stories were so underdeveloped and could have been given a bit more, but they sort of wanted to focus on Margot Robbie for quite a long time, and then they also had Brad Pitt in there. But I did enjoy it though. I enjoyed it. I felt that it's probably like a 6.5, 7 out of 10 movie for me. But it was just obnoxiously long, considering the things they included. A lot of it could have been cut. Like there's a cameo. I won't say who by, but I think it might even be in the trailer. To be fair, there's a cameo by an actor that is funny, I guess, but it feels so self-serving that it's more so just look, we got this guy. Yeah, we got this guy to play this weird character. Isn't he funny? And then there's this. I'll even spoil this because it's not a big deal. But there's the character from My Name Is Earl who plays Randy, Ethan Suplee, I think his name is.
Suplee, yeah.
He's in it. Just grunts and spits, and it's like, okay, that's funny, I guess. Is it?
Also
he does it once
because he's a phenomenal actor.
Complete waste. We've seen what he can do. So that was a shame. He basically just plays like a big stiff in this, just a big guy to be big and strong. So that was kind of wasteful to me. But Margot Robbie chews the scene a couple times in it as well, where she's told to sort of give it some energy and go for it, but it comes across as you're kind of it's like, oh, you're kind of watching it wincing
Calm
a bit.
down, Harley Quinn.
Yeah, going a bit mad on it. But she does carry the movie too, because her character reminds me of Sharon Stone's character in Casino. I can't remember the name of her character, but she's basically self-destructive. And she wants best for her life, but she's also self-destructive. And, you can't have one without the other. You can't have both. So you see what happened, the outcome of that. And then there's a character in it that she spends a lot of time with that you think the movie is going to be about, and then it ends with him, and it's like, oh, okay, so it is about his journey, but then you realize that you've kind of also not seen a lot of him. Yeah, it's really interesting, really weird, because there's a character he does mix with Brad Pitt's character as well, so he is part of the heart of the movie, but it's not all the way through. you don't see him for quite a lot of it as well. So yeah, I think it was a bit messy in that regard, but I did enjoy it mostly. It just goes a bit too far with trying to get laughs. It goes a bit too far with trying to shock you for the sake of shock. And as I say, there's a little bit of overacting as well, but mostly good.
So a bit self-serving and a bit
very self-serving, and it's annoying because I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to make something sort of quirky and so out there that people talk about it, because it's going to be there's going to be certain clips from the movie that you're going to see on Twitter and other social media platforms, and it feels like it's purely designed for that. It doesn't serve the story at all. So yeah, that was my frustration with it.
I'll probably wait for it to come on stream and bother with it then.
I'm not sad I saw it. I will say I am happy I saw it, but because the trailer was quite confusing. I thought I had no idea what it was going to be about when watching the trailer, and then when I watched the movie, it kind of was what I expected. Sort of like a mess. A big mess. That half the movie was good. Half the movie I'd say was solid storytelling, but there's just so much fat in there as well where it doesn't need to be.
Just like any film that's 3 hours long.
Pretty much. Did not need to be long.
Unless it's like The Avengers or something, which is 3 hours of fighting
non-stop action.
Yeah, this felt to me that there's some great moments where it's emotional and they use silence really well. The music's great. I will say the music's fantastic. It reminds me of The Great Gatsby, where they mixed old-timey music with a modern beat. They did that quite a lot, and that worked really well. But yeah, so the emotion, there's some real good emotional moments in it, and like I say, it's very funny, but they just don't find that balance sometimes. Sometimes they go too far, and I know that humor is subjective, but I feel that even they might have known that some people are probably not going to find this hilarious. If you've watched movies before, you kind of have a bit of a bar to set for humor. You're not going to laugh at every pratfall, are you? You're not always going to laugh at people throwing up, or getting shat on. That's not. Some people find it funny, some people don't, I guess. So there's a lot of those ideas where they're like, stick it in, see what people think.
Yeah.
And some people are going to love it.
Let's cut the runtime because it's not long enough.
It feels like that, and the story in itself is good enough. It reminds me of Requiem for a Dream, but movies. So it's 3 or 4 people chasing their goal to be in Hollywood, to be in films or work in films, and life unravels. And the moral is that Hollywood will chew you up and spit you out, but it's not subtle. So it's like, we know that already. We get that. And it goes, when I say it's not subtle, I mean it's not subtle. They outright say it in the movie.
Movies beat you over the head with a message.
And it kind of does. And it feels like it didn't need to. Yeah, it didn't need to do that. It could have been more subtle than that and cleverly crafted. But yeah, it does have its charm. I won't say that it doesn't.
I'll give it a watch at some point.
Yeah. The only thing is the reviews are going to go over the top. I know they are, because it's not. I've not seen a movie like that before.
Because it's pretentious as fuck.
Yeah, pretentious as fuck. Some scenes are just crazy as well. You wouldn't expect it in a movie like this. That's going to be a critical darling. There's urination on people, there's shit on people, there's vomit on people, and you think it's going to be like a sort of a more classy version of Hollywood. It's not. It gives you the nitty gritty. Well, not classy, but yeah.
All man's in between us.
It's
yeah, does a bit.
But yeah, they make the most of their 18 rating. I'll say that.
Yeah. Has anyone watched anything else this week? Did you watch The Last of Us? Have you caught up?
Yeah, I watched the second one.
I watched both. Did you find it better than the first? I did.
Still, obviously, I know it's going to get good, but I reckon it's going to take a couple.
Do you think? See, I was gripped from the start, and then I thought the second one did really up the ante with it. The fact that you actually see the clickers and that.
Yeah, well, I didn't. Obviously, I watched it after Andy mentioned about the clicking on the top of the roof, and I completely forgot about it because I was watching it and I was tired as well, but I didn't pay attention for it, so I kind of need to watch the last end.
Of the first episode, I didn't know the clicker on the roof. I didn't see that one. But have you played the game? I can't remember if you said you did or not.
No, I've never played it.
No.
but I always wanted to because I never had a PlayStation.
I wonder if the fact that if you play the game, it just adds a little bit more to it.
Potentially,
because
it's like any.
I love it.
It's like with some films when you read the book beforehand. When you're watching it, you're like, "Oh, this is that part of that." So maybe with the game, it's that's that part of the game.
Yeah, there is a bit of that. Obviously, they change things up for pacing and things. Like do a little bit of a swap around, but for the most part, it's really faithful, and that to me is everything. Because if you're going to adapt a franchise, it's got to be recognizable as that franchise.
Yeah,
like Resident Evil films are nothing like the games.
I haven't seen it now, so that's on the to-do list.
I recommend it.
If I played the game obviously in episode 1, if I had played the game, what the hell, it would have got me straight away. I would have been crying. You know what I mean? But I'm just like,
I filled up when I played that bit of the game. I filled up watching it again in the series. I think the game is actually more impactful the way it does it.
Because in the game you're playing as that person, aren't you? Or you're playing as one of the characters.
You actually get to play that person as well.
Oh, lovely.
That's how the game starts, and it's just like, oh, mate, it's bad. It's rough. I recommend it, Crippy, even if, like I say, you're not a big gamer yourself, are you? So
I'm not, no.
Which sucks, because I'm going to start talking about Cyberpunk 2077 now. Liam, have you played that one?
I've not. I wanted to buy it when it came out, but then with all the bugs that were going around, stayed away from it. I thought there was no point.
I was lucky I had an Xbox Series X, so it ran well. It was about the only console that it ran on, and now I'm playing through it again on PC, but I'm playing as a female character this time so that I can have a go on Judy Alvarez. But for some reason, it's not showing the picture. No,
there we go. Yeah, we saw that.
That's Panam. That's who I romanced the first time round. She is my forever woman. If she was real, I would hunt her down and marry her tomorrow.
She'll be out there somewhere.
I do like Judy. I do like me some Judy. Panam looks like Tristan Mays from MacGyver. Don't know if you've ever watched that.
I haven't seen MacGyver now. I only heard of it because of The Simpsons.
All right. Actress called Tristan Mays in the new MacGyver looks very much like that. And that is all good with me. And then I just started watching Cyberpunk Netrunners on Netflix, which is the anime to go alongside it. And as we were saying before I hit record, I cannot get away with anime in any way, shape, or form. I don't know what it is, because the artwork is always stunning. The animation is always balls. Just it's like, why go to so much effort to make it look that good as a still frame and then not animate it properly, so it just looks like absolute garbage? And I don't understand why it's
1,000 episodes of every single series.
Yeah, thankfully there's only 10 25-minute episodes on night of Netrunners, so I can make it through that, I think. But purely because I'm so invested in the game again that I think I can stick it out. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother. I don't. Even the voice acting in anime gets on my tits. All the everyone's always got a sweat on.
Well, I see people post on Twitter. They say, "Oh, this moment was incredible," and I'm watching. It just doesn't hit me like it hits them. No, they love it, but I've never been able to get into it.
Well, 8 frames a second, or if you want to show some speed, let's just do a close-up of a character at a jaunty angle with shit flying around in the background.
Yeah.
Why not just animate them running?
Yeah.
Make an effort.
Yeah.
So the only thing I watched when I was a kid, but it was only every now and again, was Dragon Ball Z. That was it.
I never watched that.
But again, it was literally when it was on. I never went out of the way to watch it. It was as it was on TV. And then I'd watch it like, pass this. Next time
Dragon Ball Z was the gateway drug, innit?
They use that as a lot of movies used fight scenes from that movie as a blueprint to doing their own. I think The Matrix did. The fight with Smith in the third movie, Revolutions, that was Dragon Ball Z all over, flying around in the sky, then like the energy orb of them hitting each other. That was straight out of that. So it's affected a lot of people.
But do it in live action, or do it at 24 frames a second, not 8. I don't know. I'm just being picky. But anyway, this week we did get the Oscar announcements. Have you seen them yet, or you had a look?
No, I had a proper look. I saw that. Is it Angela Bassett? She was nominated for an Oscar for Black Panther.
For Black Panther, yeah. Hang on, I'll do another screen share. Do it because I've got them all up.
I'll have to watch that movie again because I don't know why she was nominated for that. I didn't think it was that great.
Still haven't seen it, to be quite honest. I think this starts off with the actors. Yeah, actor in a leading role. I still haven't seen Elvis.
No, I've not seen Elvis. It's not something I normally watch, to be honest.
No, I do like music or documentaries, like music stuff about people that I've either listened to or so. Like my granddad loves Elvis, so when it came out, I was like, I need to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, for me, like Elvis is he's up there with the Beatles in overrated acts for me. Wow. It's like I get it, I get why people love it, but it's just not for me. Banshees of Inisherin, I haven't seen yet. It's on our.
Need to see that.
It's on our randomizer.
Yeah.
Hopefully it spits it out soon because I do want to see that. Brendan Fraser for The Whale. I'm still waiting.
Yeah, I think that's going to have a theatrical release. Is it going to have a theatrical release in the UK?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be out
this month
soon. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. I was asked about it. I'm going to go see that. So I'll see if it's as good as they say.
Paul Mescal in Aftersun. I've never heard of him, and I've never heard of that.
I'm sure you've seen him. If you see his face, you'll know who he is. Because that name rings a bell for me. I haven't seen the movie, but that name rings a bell.
That's him up there, isn't it? Nope.
Yeah, no, that's him.
Not a clue. Bill Nye living. It's nice to see Bill Nye getting recognition, but living again, never even heard of.
No, I'm not sure if I'll watch that, but
no. Supporting role, Banshees of Inisherin again, Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah.
Causeway, I don't think I've heard of, but Brian Tyree Henry is mint, so I'm
I like him. He's
fantastic in Bullet Train.
Yeah, Bullet Train's funny.
Judd Hirsch in The
dicey, but he's funny.
yeah, it is a bit. It's not Don Cheadle, but it's
no.
Yeah, it is dicey. Judd Hirsch in The Fablemans. That's that new Spielberg one, isn't it? It's not come out yet over here.
Okay.
But apparently meant to be good. The Joker there and from Banshees of Inisherin, Barry Keoghan, sorry. Yeah. I'm struggling to see him as the Joker, to be honest. Did you know he was in The Batman?
No.
Yeah, you don't see his face, but he talks to the Riddler through the cell in The Batman, and he's going to be a big part of the sequel, apparently.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Definitely. Ki Hugh Kwan. I don't know if I just butchered that name.
But you know who he is. I'm pretty sure that's Short Round from the Indiana Jones movie.
Yes, it is.
Back in the day.
That's right, yeah. So Everything Everywhere All at Once. That?
Yeah.
Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Very weird, but I did enjoy it. And I love seeing Michelle Yeoh. I think she's great.
She's
watching anything.
Yeah.
And Jamie Lee Curtis is hilarious as well.
Given that this was the year that Marvel released Multiverse of Madness, and it wasn't the best multiverse film of 2022.
God, I know.
It just says everything about that film, really.
Yeah. When I saw the trailer, I knew I was going to enjoy it, though. You know, sometimes the trailer looks so good, you think, well, if the movie is all like this, I'm going to have a great time. And it delivers.
Yeah. See, I wasn't sure because I saw the trailer and thought it looked fun, but then I thought, there's just something wanky about this that I don't like. Something a little bit sort of indie film pretentiousness, but nah, it was brilliant. What was this actress in a leading role? Kate Blanchett for that Tar that I keep seeing about, but I don't know anything about. My future ex-wife Anna de Armas for Blonde, which I still haven't seen.
No, I'm not seeing either. That's
the Marilyn Monroe thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It came to Netflix. So really, you should just watch it. It's there.
Exactly, it's easy.
Angela Riseborough for To Leslie. Some of these films they're making up, I'm sure. Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans. Again, that's not even out yet over here. So.
That's 2 nominations I've seen with The Fabelmans. So that might be one.
I think it's got quite a few. And Michelle Yeoh, Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's my bet because it's the only film of them that I've seen. So it's the only one that can throw me with. Yeah,
I'm glad she got nominated though, because she's somebody who's been great for years without enough recognition. She obviously has plenty 100%. Of fans, but when it comes to award gongs and Oscars and whatnot, I felt she's always been left behind.
There's Short Round.
Here he is.
So there we go. Angela Bassett, supporting actress for Black Panther, which I still haven't seen. I do believe it hits Disney Plus on the 1st of Feb.
Yeah, so see what you think about it. See what you think.
Hong Chow for The Whale. I still desperately want to see The Whale. Kerry Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin. I think that's every category now, isn't it?
I was going to say,
except for lead female. And then 2 more for Everything Everywhere at Once, including Jamie Lee Curtis, which is awesome.
Yeah.
She
could win that. I think she could win that. She was so good. So good.
It just wasn't a role that I'd expect from Jamie Lee Curtis.
I know, and I love that they've clearly had that in them, haven't they? They wanted to do something out there for a while because she nailed it. Thoroughly enjoyed the role.
Animated features I'm not interested in. Cinematography, costume. Where is best film? Directing, Martin McDonagh for The Banshees of Inisherin. What a surprise. Everything Everywhere at Once, the Daniels, Fabelmans, there's Steven Spielberg again. Todd Field, I've never heard of him, and I've never heard of Ruben Östlund either, or Triangle of Sadness for that matter.
No, same.
But again, having only seen one of those, it's hard for me to say anything. Film editing.
I'll be watching the Banshees. I'll be watching that movie. I'll be watching Whale as well, so I'll be able to give something on that.
Yeah, 100%. Foreign film, All Quiet on the Western Front. I think that's even up for Best Picture overall.
Oh wow.
Makeup and hairstyling. It's got to be that because I still can't see Colin Farrell in there, and I've seen the video of him putting the makeup on.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. Showgirls. That's RRR that I put on the list. That's on the randomizer. I've seen the first half an hour of it. It's 3 hours long.
Oh, crikey.
Here we go. Best film.
Best film.
All Quiet on the Western Front, which I need to watch. Yeah. Didn't one of you watch it the other day?
No, I've not seen it.
No, I've not seen it, but I would watch it though.
Yeah, so
I thought one of you had said that you'd had. Yeah, that's on Netflix, so there's no reason.
Oh, nice.
Again, no excuse not to watch it. Avatar: The Way of Water, your favorite film of the year,
it makes me so angry. It really does.
You knew it was going to be on there, didn't you?
I know. It doesn't deserve it.
Special effects, maybe? Yes.
For sure. Not going to question that at all. Absolute special effects.
Got all Banshees of Inisherin again. Elvis is on. I'm going to have to watch it, aren't I?
Me too, because I thought it was going to be a biopic that was like, yeah, it's fine. It's interesting because it's Elvis. And when people were saying, yeah, I enjoyed it, I thought, yeah, but you might like those kind of movies. But if it's getting these kind of gongs, clearly there's something in it for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, I still haven't seen Walk the Line, which is apparently blasphemous.
Yeah. I like that as well. I mean, I don't even like Johnny Cash, but I watched that.
Okay. Is it good?
I'm going to have to watch it.
I enjoyed it, but I think when it came out, or not long after it came out, I watched it I think it was like on Film 4 or something.
Right.
Good one.
It was one of them when I watched Old Boy. It was just on TV and I was watching it.
Yeah. Just ended up gripped.
Yeah.
Everything Everywhere All at Once definitely deserves to be on that list.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Fabelmans, don't know. Tar, don't know.
It.
And then Top Gun.
I can't believe I've still not seen it. I cannot believe I've not seen it yet. I know.
I've not seen it yet.
It's because they were. I had it on my list of movies to watch in the cinema, but everything else was coming out at the same time. So I just was watching it. I was like, I'll get around to Top Gun. I know I'm going to enjoy it, whatever. And I just have not seen it yet.
Oh,
I know. It's criminal.
Thrice, at least thrice.
It's criminal. My brother loves it. He keeps on having a go at me for not seeing it. I was like, I know, bro. I will. I promise I will.
Seen the original though, yeah? You've seen the 80s
No,
one.
I have not.
No. I mean, I wasn't even born throwing that one there. He was.
I know. Neither of you were born, were you? But no, I would suggest watching that one first.
Okay.
Because there is obviously a strong link between the two.
My brother said there's a character where, you need to know, seen the first one to know.
Yeah, I mean, if it takes them 40 years to make a second one, it can't be that good.
It took 40 years because there was no story to tell.
Blade Runner puts that to rest.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Top Gun is one of my favorite films of all time. It's just so much fun, and the second one is even better somehow.
Well, you look at Mission Impossible Protocol. How good is it? Protocol? The one
Ghost Protocol was where it really stepped up a notch.
What's the one? The one where he almost falls off the cliff at the end when he's holding the bomb trigger. Fallout. Sorry, yeah, Fallout. Spoiler warning there. Yeah. God, I love that movie. So when I watched that, and I was like, "There's no way Top Gun won't be good." If these people are involved in that, it's going to be fantastic. So,
yeah, just puts everything. Say what you want about Tom Cruise, he is a heat the ball, but he is one of the
proper
best
action
actors working today. He's got range, but the fact that he'll just do anything to get that perfect shot is immense. But yeah, I've never heard of these last two: Triangle of Sadness and Woman Talking. Good that Frances McDormand was in there, though.
No,
I like her.
Either. Yeah, no, I've not heard of those either. I was trying to think if I had them, but I hadn't.
So I think we're just going to back Everything Everywhere All at Once for now because we've seen that.
I think so, yeah.
And I'm going to back Top Gun for Best Picture just because I'm biased as hell.
If Avatar wins it, I probably won't come on this pod again.
Oh no! Please do. That'd be amazing. What an episode that'd be.
Because it'll be seen as a victory for Cameron. It's like, yeah, you had nearly £2 billion to market this movie. Of course, it's going to make money. So,
yeah, £2 billion and what 10 years to put it all together.
Unreal. What director gets that time and freedom to make movies? If they did, they'd all put out gems. But
yeah, the man who makes $1 billion every time he puts one out.
Yeah, that's who gets it.
What else have we got? I did start watching a new series on Netflix that wasn't anime and is actually quite good. Called The Good Cop. It's Josh Groban, that singer Josh Groban, and Tony Danza.
It's a name I've not heard for about 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so like an aging Tony Danza. He was a cop in New York who got put away for being corrupt, basically. And Josh Groban's his son, who is now also a cop, but does everything strictly by the book.
Yeah.
And it's just about them two together, and it is proper funny. But not proper funny, but like...
Is it more like a more comedic Training Day?
No, it's not like that. No, it's a slightly more serious Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So it's not a film, but it's a series. So it's one of them. You can watch it whenever you want. Called Dave. It's got Little Dicky in it.
Series called
so
Dave.
Funny.
That sounds familiar. That sounds familiar, Dave. I thought it might be called Meet Dave, but no. Hold on.
I was thinking. I swear it's called Dave. Yeah, it's called Dave.
Barry.
Little Dicky. He's just so funny.
Right. Is it on any streaming, or I'm going to have to dig?
I can't remember now. It was a while ago. It's just when you were describing that, saying it was funny, it just for some reason it popped into my head.
I think it's on Disney. I think it says it's on Disney Plus and maybe iPlayer as well.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was iPlayer when I watched it. iPlayer it was, yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember Little Dicky in that. I've definitely seen that advertised. It's got a few comedians in there. It's got Andrew Santino as well.
I'm going to start watching that. I've got one more Good Cop to go, and then I'll start watching that.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you know Little Dicky as well, he's just funny in general.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Actually, I just obviously there's another series that's just a guy's first name called Barry, and that's worth watching as well. It's
just the name Barry alone.
It's not Barry from EastEnders, is it? Because I'd watch that. I'd watch that all day.
That would be amazing.
He'd be fantastic.
Just
Barry's Adventures.
It's Bill Hader.
Yeah, I'll do it my way. Oh, Bill Hader. Yeah.
Yeah, it's him as a hitman.
Okay, interesting.
It's funny. Well, funny. I've only seen the first series, but I think there's like 2 or 3 out now, so need to get caught up.
He's very good.
Has anyone watched anything else this week that's worth mentioning?
I saw M3GAN the other week.
I really want to see M3GAN.
Really
want to see that.
Watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's as you expect. It's
definitely
no spoilers. It's funny. It's fun.
Annoyed me about that was the trailer where it starts dancing. It's just like, oh, get out.
I'll be honest.
I love that.
No, I'll be honest. That's probably the best scene in the movie. When you watch the movie, that's seen as the best.
Funny.
No, but like
everything.
Everything, yeah. When you're watching, you're not really laughing. You're just enjoying. Yeah, it's more entertaining.
So something built up to that scene, and she just starts going.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the moment where M3GAN
when I
goes,
saw that in the trailer, I was just loving that because, like, obviously they're just the stoic face and these moves, and then she just starts.
That's the annoying thing about trailers. I wish they hadn't put that bit in. So imagine watching that first. It would have
been a great surprise for audience. Yeah, fun because it matches the tone of the movie. It does because it's obviously horror, but there's a lot of comedic moments and entertaining moments. So it matches the tone of the movie perfectly.
Trailers, I'll watch the first 10 seconds, and if I'm hooked, I'm like, right, I'll turn it off because I don't want to watch any of it.
Yeah,
they show more than they used to, don't they, to try and get you in?
Yeah.
I want to wait though because there's going to be a director's cut R-rated version because they toned it down after the popularity of that dance scene in the trailer.
Yeah.
They toned it down to cash in basically. So I want to see the uncut version.
It's I enjoyed it. Again, it's not. And I wouldn't say it's like an 8 out of 10 movie. It's close to that. I say a 7 out of 10. But it reminds me. Some bits remind me of Ex Machina a little bit because obviously there's like what do you call it? I guess like a robot kind of android kind of thing. There's that element to it. I only had one gripe. It's not. I won't spoil it, but it's just I've always got a thing with horrors when a character does something that doesn't seem to be the natural reaction to what's just happened. They've they've gone upon themselves to do it. That irritates me in horror movies.
It's kind of the whole thing with horror films. It's just like, no, this makes sense.
Exactly, yeah, that does happen. And they didn't need to. There was enough. They could have had it where the character would have done an act based on what had happened, but they kind of, it was more so it did it, which I guess might be the point of the movie. But I did enjoy it, and I think you'll get a kick out of it.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Speaking of horror, though, have you seen the trailer for Scream 6?
Yeah, I saw it. Saw it last night.
That looks class.
Yeah.
I love Scream.
The thing is, I've not watched any of the recent ones as well, though, so I kind of need to.
Same here, Liam. Yeah, I'm not following them at all.
I think obviously
so how many General Vega now?
This is her second.
She's been in the last few. Right, okay.
She's just in the last one.
So I think that's the reason why this one's so big because of Wednesday. Obviously, she's gone from here to.
Yeah. She's going to become a horror icon, isn't she?
Yeah, because she was also in what was the one the Foo Fighters made? I can't remember what it's called now.
Oh God, I never saw that. I was like, I couldn't imagine how that was gonna.
I managed to sit through it.
How was it?
Studio 666. That's it.
That's
isn't it. It's not shit, but the acting is awful.
This is it. I know. I don't mind Foo Fighters cashing in. I really don't. Dave Grohl in the band. I don't mind that at all. But I was never going to see it because I just thought, there's no way this is going to be good enough.
Like, I'm a massive Foo Fighters fan. Like, I've been to see them like 75 times. So I thought I owe it to them to watch it, but I know I'm not going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I just had to turn my brain off, and it wasn't
painful.
terrible, but it just like watching them trying to act, and it's like, this isn't a music video, lads. Fucking hell, try, please. This is horrible.
Ooh, speaking of which, that's on the subject of musicians in movies they probably shouldn't be in. Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers is in Babylon.
Is he?
That's and he actually has quite a lot of lines.
I was actually thinking the other day because I was watching something with him in. Or was I just watching?
He's done a few. Yeah, he was in.
And I just thought he hasn't done any films for a while.
Yeah, he's been
Back
doing
to the Future
roles.
2.
But yeah, so he's in that, and I recognized him instantly. And then the minute you hear his voice, I was like, "Yep, that's definitely Flea." Then you see his teeth, I was like, "Yep, that's Flea." That's kind of cool. And he's playing like a straight laced character as well, which is even funnier. He's there all suited up. I'm like, how long? How much did they have to pay you to put clothes on?
To put a shirt on?
Yeah. That's clearly just a joke for anyone who's a fan, isn't it? They had him wear a suit for this whole character and be so straight laced and proper. I was like, yeah, they're taking the mick here.
I love it. I really can't think of where I just saw him pop up the other day. That's going to bug the shit out of us. I'm going to have to IMDb him when we're done.
Yeah.
I can see him in the passenger seat of the car. It's killing us. Anyway, we've managed to hit 55 minutes on this. I thought we would be like 45 and done. Nightcrawler then over the next 7 days. It's going to be a good one. Hopefully Liam will like it better than Locke. Get a bit more involved in the discussion.
If there's something that actually happens in the film, then, you know.
I feel a lot did. Liam. A lot did. Nightcrawler, shit goes
another
down.
one of some, shit goes down, but it's another one about somebody losing their grip. Basically,
yes.
Oh, that's fine. I'm fine for that. As long as something actually happens.
Yeah.
It's a slow burner, though. I will say Nightcrawler.
It's not just set in one car, that's for sure.
No. Although there is a lot of driving, Ash, to be fair.
There is.
Ironically, there is quite a lot of driving.
Destination a few times.
Yeah, exactly.
And it has been a long time since I've seen it, so I'm really looking forward to watching it again.
I can't wait.
Going to be a good one. All right, I think that's us done for this week, and we shall be back next week with another episode, obviously focused on the Nightcrawler and anything else that's caught our eye in the past week. Please do hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button so you know when we upload, because clearly there's no schedule set for this yet. We just do it as and when. And we'll catch you next week, and we'll catch you on Tuesday for the Vital Football Podcast, where we'll all be around the table talking soccer.
Wow.
Catch us later.
Soccer.
Well, we're talking films, and they're all American, so I just thought I'd throw the S word about. Until next time, gentlemen. See you later.
Cheers.